The clock on the wall was ticking mercilessly. Every second was tapping your already frayed nerves. You were supposed to be at the Bts Grand Hotel by now, standing beside your impossibly cold-tongued boss Jungkook, but instead, you were 20 minutes late. Your fingers fumbled along the top shelf of your cabinet, shoving aside an old stack of notebooks until they landed on the neat folder you had prepared last night. Oh, Quyen, why do you always mess things up? He's definitely going to roast me alive. You muttered, throwing the file into your bag before scooping up your phone. You cursed under your breath, already imagining the way Jungkook's sharp eyes would narrow at you. Grabbing your bag and applying red lipstick, you rushed towards the door, but in your haste, the strap of your heel caught on the edge of the rug, sending you forward in ungraceful half fall. Seriously, why always me? You hissed while catching yourself just in time. With trembling hands, you locked the door and bolted down the narrow hallway of your apartment building. The summer air outside was already warm, wrapping around you as you rushed to the curb. Taxi, please! You flung your arm up, waving desperately, your hair flying all over your head. To your surprise, a yellow cab pulled over immediately. You froze for a split second, frowning your eyebrows because that never happened. Usually, you would be late, stranded, ignored until the desperation on your face convinced someone to finally stop, and today you had not to wait for a second. Still panting, you both quickly running towards it, your heels tapping against the road. Hello, you blurted and slipped inside. The driver was an old man with tired eyes. Throughout the drive, he kept glancing at you in the rearview mirror, which made you uneasy, but you tried your best to ignore it and started to shuffle the presentation papers in your lap while muttering lines under your breath in preparation for the meeting. Finally, the taxi rolled to a stop outside the Grand Hotel. Sighing in a relief, you quickly got down and immediately reached for your wallet. How much? You asked politely while fetching out some money from your bag. The driver smiled at you and shook his head with a smile. Come on, it is okay, ma'am. You frowned. No, 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 you work for it. Take it, please, I insist. Oh, let it be. It is not every day I get to drop off such a beautiful girl, he said. Your heart twisted in discomfort. You glared at him and quickly pulled out the fare anyway, tossing the bills onto the dashboard. Stupid. You muttered under your breath, walking towards the hotel. But just as you took a hurried step towards the glass doors at the entrance, a sharp jolt hit your side, your breath caught in your throat, the world tilted for a second. Before you hit the pavement, your knees scraped against the rough concrete. A sleek white car sat stopped in front of you, its engine humming softly. The driver's door swung open and a man stepped out. He was tall, sharply dressed in a fitted black suit, his dark hair styled back. His features carried that easy, confident charm. He walked over to you, running. Oh, are you okay, ma'am? He asked politely. I am fine. You said quickly, trying to stand up, but your knees dropped and you stumbled slightly. He gulped down. I think you need my help. He said, still staring at you. You stiffened. No thanks, I said I am fine. You said firmly, brushing off your skirt. Please let me help you. You looked at him. No, I can walk myself. You said and put your balance on your left feet, but a gasp left your mouth. See, at least let me walk you to the entrance. That's not a safe fall you just had. Your knee gave another sharp swing. Reluctantly, you gave in. Fine. He smiled and took your hand in his gently but firmly guiding you towards the hotel. You kept your gaze forward. As he guided you inside, your eyes fell on Jungkook, who was sitting in the corner table with his foreign clients. His black suit was perfectly tailored, his tie sharp against his crisp white shirt. His hands were tucked into his pockets while his posture was straight, exuding that cold, intimidating aura. While talking to his clients, he looked around casually, but the moment his eyes fell on you, he froze. No, froze was not the right word for those intense eyes of him. They burned. His gaze trailed to the man holding your hand, and then finally locked onto your face. His jaw clenched while his shoulders went stiff, his hands curled into fists. The polite smile he had been wearing for his clients vanished, replaced by a look so sharp it could slice through steel. The man guided you to one of the plush cream-colored Dobby chairs. His grip was firm, as if making sure you didn't stumble again. Reaching Jungkook, you bowed quickly, your voice barely above a whisper. "I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook." But before Jungkook could react, the same man tilted his head in a disbelief. He was one of Jungkook's clients. His name was Minhu. "Wait, no way. You are Jungkook's secretary?" You glanced at him and gave him a smile. "Yes, I am." That one smile curve of your lips burned through Jungkook like gasoline on fire. His dark eyes narrowed. His jaw was flexing. His pupils darkened, and for a moment his usually calm expression flickered with raw and unfiltered rage. He glared at Minhu, and then standing up from his chair, he spoke coldly. His voice cut through the air like a blade. "Miss Ryan, come with me." You gulped, wine in mind. "Oh my, Mr. Jungkook, I was just—" "Miss Ryan," I said, "get up." The tone in his voice made the hair on your neck stand. You flinched at the sharpness, rising halfway, but Minhu suddenly frowned. Mr. Jungkook, she's a woman, so kindly keep your tone little polite," he said, his voice tinged with disapproval. Jungkook scoffed and snapped his head towards him, his eyes sharp enough to pierce through armor. "Excuse me, do I need your permission to decide how to speak to my secretary?" The foreign colleagues exchanged startled glances, but no one dared to step in. You gulped down. Jungkook turned back to you, his gaze hard. "Miss Ryan, are you going to get up?" You quickly stood up, nodding your head in yes. "Yes, sir." You hurriedly followed him behind, though your knee was still hurting. Minhu gave a low scoff. Jungkook's reaction found childish. The sound of your heels clicking against the marble floor felt deafening. In the silence between you, you tried to keep up with his long surprise, your voice soft and hesitant. "Mr. Jungkook, I'm sorry. Please, I promise I won't be late again." Without answering, he suddenly stopped. Your breath caught. He pushed open the door to the side restroom. "Go inside." You blink in confusion, then you look down, your eyes went wide. He rushed to your cheeks in a wave of mortification. "Oh my." Without wasting a second, you darted inside, your trembling hands fumbling. Your reflection in the mirror stared back at your flushed cheeks, messy hair, and a heart that wouldn't calm down. "How I could forget this," you said to yourself for being so careless. Outside, Jungkook stood with his back to the door, hands in his pockets, while his jaw was tense. A few people passing by glanced curiously, but only one look of him, and then they disappeared. After a while, you stepped out, feeling really embarrassed. You bowed your head at him. "I'm sorry." Jungkook didn't move for a moment. His dark eyes swept over you, checking not just to make sure that you were fine. You knew the side of him, the one that always stood between you and trouble without admitting it, the one that was cold in words but warm in actions. But this time there had been something else in his eyes, jealousy, which made your heart race. You knew he wanted to ask you that why you would come in with his client, but due to his cold nature, he always hesitated to ask you this kind of personal questions. But through his curious eyes, you always read it. Clearing your throat, you spoke. I got hit by Mr. Minho's car, so he just helped me to walk inside the hotel. Nothing else, and I am fine also. I just hurt my knee a little, but now it feels good. You explained him with a warm smile. Jungkook maintained his cold composure but smirked internally. You had no idea that beneath that cold exterior he had been carrying feelings for you. Instead of taking him back to face his clients, he simply said, "Go wait for me in the car. I will come after finishing this meeting." There was concern in his voice. You nodded quietly, clutching your bag, your cheeks warm. You didn't mind the order, not because he was your boss, but because deep down you understood this was his way of protecting you. You bowed at him and walked out. Finding the black sedan parked at the curb, you walked over to it. The driver gave you a polite nod as you settled into the back seat. The cool leather against your skin felt like heaven after the tension inside. Your fingers absent-mindedly traced the stitching on your back as your mind replayed every moment that had just happened. Your heart was racing for reasons you couldn't quite admit out loud. Inside the hotel, Minhu's expressions faltered when Jungkook returned alone. "Where is your secretary?" he asked, his voice too casual. Jungkook's lips curved into the faintest smirk. "She is exactly where she should be." Something in his tone made Minhu's face lose color. Jungkook didn't bother expecting further. He shifted the conversation back to business as he wanted this meeting to finish soon. He didn't want you to wait too long for him. After 20 minutes bidding a goodbye to the clients, he finally made his way to the car. The driver stood straight, opening the back door for him. Jungkook's eyes softened the second he looked inside. You were curled up on the back seat like a small kitten. Your head was resting against the door while your lips were slightly parted in sleep. A soft strand of your hair had fallen across your cheek, and the sunlight filtering through the tinted glass gave your skin a warm glow. You look beautiful, effortlessly so. He slid inside next to you, moving with the precision of someone who didn't want you to wake up. The door shut quietly, and the driver started the car. "Take her home first," Jungkook instructed in a low voice. The truth was, he knew you had been sleeping well lately. He had noticed the darkest circles around your eyes during the past week, the way you had yawned discreetly in meetings, so he wanted you to have some rest. Instead of joining him again in the office and only busy yourself again, you both had to leave for a business trip also. By tomorrow morning, halfway through the drive, you shifted in your sleep. His heart kicked hard against his ribs, but he stayed perfectly still. He kept his gaze fixed on the passing city's lights outside the window, pretending not to notice how his heart was beating fastly. He completely ignored it by looking out the window and letting out a deep breath. Finally, the car stopped in front of your house. Jungkook quietly reached for your bag, finding the house key tucked inside. He moved with practiced ease. You stirred slightly, murmuring something incoherent but didn't wake up. He gently laid you on your bed, adjusting the pillow under your head with a warm smile just as he turned to leave. You spoke. "I'm sorry, Mr. Jungkook." You mumbled in your sleep, your voice fragile. His lips softened into the faintest smile. He reached down. Idiot. He whispered so quietly that only the empty room could hear. With one more last glance, he stepped out, carefully closing the door behind him. After 2 hours, you woke up rubbing your eyes. Wait, what? Wasn't I supposed to be in the office? You looked around your bedroom in confusion. Grabbing your phone from the nightstand, you saw a message from Mr. Jungkook. Take rest today. We will leave tomorrow for the business trip. Your cheeks heated up instantly. Oh my, did he take me upstairs himself? You fell back onto the bed, putting your face into a pillow with a blushing smile. The next morning, you stepped out of your house to find Jungkook's black car parked neatly at the curb. He stood beside it, one hand in his pocket while the other was holding a sleek briefcase. You smiled shyly at him and bowed. Good morning, Mr. Jungkook, and thank you for yesterday. His eyes flickered to yours for just a second, unreadable. Get in. We have a long drive. You smiled faintly and slid into the seat. The ride was quiet, your fingers fiddling with the hem of your skirt while his gaze was fixed out the window. Arriving at the hotel, reaching the luxury hotel, Jungkook led the way through the lobby, his pace brisk but his hand occasionally stirring you when other guests passed too close. At the reception, he collected two key cards and handed one to you. Your room is next to mine. You nodded and followed him down the hall. Reaching the door, he opened it while you bent slightly to adjust your heels. When you straightened, you bumped directly into him. The impact was sharp but sent your heart into a wild rhythm. His eyes widened for a fraction of a second, and then you could feel the faint heat radiating off him for a moment. Neither of you moved. Sorry. He cleared his throat, placing your bag near the bed. Rest early. We will meet the clients tomorrow. He said, all flustered, and you could notice the tips of his ears were flushed red. At night, the city lights glittered outside your window as you stepped into the bathroom to take a warm shower for relaxing yourself. The sound of water was almost hypnotic. Meanwhile, Jungkook was going through the next day's agenda when he realized that he had forgotten to give you an important set of documents you had needed to prepare. Without much thought, he grabbed the file and walked over to your room using the spare key. The room was dimly lit, soft yellow light spilling over the bed. Jungkook set the file on the desk but decided to wait to come for you to come. He sat at the edge of your bed, checking his watch. The sound of bathroom door clicking open made him glance up, and then his eyes breath stopped. You stood in the doorway. Your eyes went wide when you saw him. Mr. Jungkook? His jaw tightened, his gaze darting away so fast it almost looked painful. I forgot to give you the documents, he said, almost panicking. He tried to escape, but his foot caught the edge of the rug and his balance gave out as he stumbled forward. Your back hit the wall, your heart pounding so loud that you were certain he could hear it. You gulped with your cheeks burning. All you could hear was the pounding of your heart. His dark eyes flickered, hesitation, longing, restraint, all tangled in one unsteady gaze, and then, without either. It was not rushed, it was not planned, it was like gravity had finally pulled you into the space you both had been unconsciously orbiting for months. Your fingers curled into the fabric without even thinking. After 10 minutes, Jungkook pulled back just enough to meet your eyes. His ears were red and the realization seemed to hit him. He tried to speak but couldn't. Without another word, he stood abruptly and began backing towards the door, but in the haste, his foot caught on the carpet. You stumbled, catching himself at the last second, his face now fully flushed. He rushed out while you sat up slowly. You were not able to believe that everything was real. It felt like a dream to you. Biting your lower lip, you couldn't help but smile shyly to yourself, your cheeks heated all over again.